Man, look, I've been trying to record this video for like 10-20 minutes maybe because my allergies are so bad and like my nose just like it's just like, hey Shino, how you doing? That's how I sound. But stay savage, your boy ShinoBeenTrill. What's poppin'? Today we are back, and guess what? We about to be talking about Boruto Naruto Next Generation School. Like, this is about to be lit. You know, every Wednesday Boruto comes out with a new episode, so if you ain't watching, you better get on Crunchyroll, you better get on Kiss Anime, you better get on Master Anime, you better get on something, because like it'd be lit. Like, today's episode, it was so good. It was just amazing. Like, they gave you the slice of life, then they gave you some other shit to mix it in there to make it like some action with it. So if you guys didn't watch it, you know, obviously this is a review. Spoilers, don't go ahead and watch this, because if you watch it, then you're gonna get spoiled and you're gonna be upset talking about some shit. All you do is spoil me, you know what I'm saying? But one thing I must say with the creators of Boruto, they are doing a great job. Like, they are keeping me entertained, they're keeping me in it. There's some moments that I have my own little issues with, I'll talk about in this video. But if you guys are excited to take that W, not the L, hit that like button. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. Let's get it.
Whipping all this dope up in the chopper. We fuck all you bitches at the trapper. I can't trust you, I can't give you real address. I can't trust you, I can't give you real address. It don't mean that be like Jerry Stacker. I might fall in love with my trappers.
Alright, so first off, let's say this, you know what I'm saying? This honestly has one of the best entertaining and engaging aspects of Boruto. Is the slice of life factor. It makes me connect to everybody. It shows everybody's stories. It gets you tied in with so many different characters, man. And it's like, you know, right away in Naruto, we didn't necessarily have that. We have everything focused on Naruto, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't just like us getting to know the whole entire cast early on. Now, everybody did at one point come in there and they had their little moments where there was their time to shine. You know, we got to hear about Neji's backstory. We got to hear about Rock Lee not knowing how to do ninjutsu. Eventually, we got the backstory to everybody, but as of the beginning of Boruto, you know, you get connected with everybody. First, you get Denki, you get Awabi, you get Shikadai, you get a little bit about Inojin, you get a little bit about Metal Lee. You know, you are starting to connect with so many different people. Like, early on, they're trying to get you bonded up with these people to a higher degree. It's one of those things where if your bond's not high enough level, you won't get anywhere. So basically, they're showing us everything you need to know about these next generation kids. They're telling you all their struggles. They're telling you how they're coming up, how they want to proceed in life and become ninjas and stuff like that. And they're showing how all of them are taking different paths and different routes from their parents. Now, I know some of them are carbon copies, but not a lot of them. Like, you know, they'll have like their very subtle moments with their carbon copies, but then they'll show this aspect in this personality trait that are completely different. Now, we have Inojin. You know, he's kind of like Sai, but he's also like Ino, and he also has his own little issues. We saw some things with him in this episode that showed, like, you know, he's not exactly like his father, and he's still not even up there like his dad yet, using his scroll beast, because when water came out, it kind of washed away. He was talking about how, you know, mine is still like not like my dad's, but I'm trying to get up there. But the fact that you're early on being able to do scroll beast, you know, this man's amazing. But let's talk about the episode a little bit. You know, so basically you got Konohamaru Sensei showing everybody summoning jutsu, you know what I'm saying? So there was basically a class and like a lesson on shurikens and how to summon different ninja tools, as well as summoning different animals and different beasts to use in combat. Now, honestly, I thought this was so cool because we got to see, you know, Konohamaru following in the footsteps of Naruto, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, Naruto is basically his brother and shit like that. You know, he was always trying to be like Naruto. He even wanted to become Hokage, just how Naruto did, you know what I'm saying? So we kind of got to see him following Naruto footsteps. We got to see him with the big old sage scroll. He summoned a giant toad. It would have been cool if we got to see him summon Boss Toad or use one of the familiar toads that Naruto used like early on in the show and stuff like that. That'd have been really dope to see, because it showed how much connected he is to Naruto. But it did give me some strong symbolisms, and it basically showed me how like they vibe and how they on the same page and stuff like that. It was really cool. Now we got Boruto basically wanting to do the summoning technique. He stole the scroll and basically being Boruto. This was probably one of the most Boruto things I've ever seen Boruto do. Like, a lot of people like to compare Boruto to Naruto and say they're exactly the same, but I feel like Boruto is a lot more sarcastic, a lot more witty than Naruto is. But like, this was probably the most idiotic thing I've seen Boruto do. So Boruto saw Konohamaru do it. He asked him could he do it, and you know, he said it wasn't that simple. You know, Konohamaru was kind of getting all boasted up and shit like that. So Boruto was kind of getting jealous. He didn't like that, so he snatched the scroll from Konohamaru, and basically what he did was he tried to summon a toad without actually making a contract. He didn't know anything about it. And you know, Sarada, she basically was roasted him. I'm talking about calling him a super idiot. She was going at this man's life. Like, it was probably one of the funniest shits I ever seen. It reminded me so much of Naruto and Sakura, but it also reminded me of how cool like Sarada is in terms of Sasuke. But I still get more of a Sakura vibe from Sarada than I get of a Sasuke. You know, everybody talks about how strong, you know, Sarada is, and, you know, talks about how skilled she is and like how well she's put together with her combat, and, you know, eventually further on, you know, you see her ninjutsu, you know, the chakra control and shit like that. But it's so like, it's so weird that, you know, you wouldn't see like the personality split, and more so it's like just Sakura personality, but in terms of skill we see a lot of Sasuke. So that's one thing that kind of bothers me with Sarada a little bit now that I'm looking at her early on, and, you know, her voice was kind of annoying the hell out of me. I don't know if anybody else agrees with me, but her voice was probably getting on my nerves more so in this episode than any other episode. But it was like one of those things where, you know, when you first seen her, she didn't really say too much. You know, she always had like her little side snickers and her little smart remarks, but she didn't go into too much detail. So it's one of those things where you didn't really get bothered by it, but at the same time it was like, you know, her voice, you can tell it's annoying, but she had like a complete spotlight. So basically in this episode it was like kind of like boys versus girls, you know, and basically, you know, Boruto and Sarada got into it over like a sandwich, a bun or whatever, and I was just like, yo, this is some real like kindergarten shit. Like, I was like, yo, these kids are dead ass fussing over this. And honestly, I thought Shino came in through and he was making it really cool. Like, he was turning into competition. He was like, you know what, since the girls say that the guys always cause trouble for the school, and, you know, the guys feel like all the girls do is gossip and talk and brag about like different things and always making up rumors and shit like that, I feel like you guys should go into a competition, and basically the people who win, the people who come through as victorious, and the ones that are victorious in the like the little competition, you gotta listen to the other one. So, you know, I'm thinking in my head, you know, I'm team boys all the way, because honestly, Chocho, she's annoying. She's really annoying. Like, honestly, she may be more annoying than Sarada. But I will say, you know, towards the end of the episode, I started to like Chocho a little bit more. Like, at first, it was one of those things where I just couldn't deal with her. She was really annoying. She always is like saying these little smart ass remarks, and she's always just being like a complete douche, like throughout the show, like since the show started. But like towards the end of this episode, I might say I just got a little bit of a fondness for her. You know, I started to like enjoy her as a person, enjoy her as a character. But like, as we see the episode progress, you know, we start to see the boys basically pulling out strategic tactics, versus we got girls who are running around and, you know, they're still smart, you know, they still pulling off some schemes, but it was more of them like on some sheer force type shit. You know, most of the time you see guys when they're going up in the competition, or you see guys fighting in Naruto universe, like obviously Naruto himself, you know, you see sheer force, you see sheer rut, you know, strength, you know, you see like sheer might. You don't see too much of a strategic play, versus when you see these guys, they're putting together plans, strategies. Like when the race first started off, because they were going to get the flag at the top of school, I'm talking about Iwabi came through with the earth style, sealing off the wall, basically stopping the girls from coming through and basically getting through the pad. You know, Iwabi would have been a good asset to keep around throughout this whole entire race. And that was one thing I was saying. I was like, these girls are going up against Iwabi, because if Iwabi just go ahead and like stall them with his taijutsu, he could hold all of them down and hold all of them back. So I was like, damn, this is about to be a really like a one-sided thing. But you know what, he put up that earth style wall, you know, the mud wall, and, you know, Chocho, she used expansion jutsu to knock down the wall with her like arm and basically knock Iwabi out. So that was basically eliminating that factor right there, because that was one of the things that I felt like they had over the girls. I was like, okay, you know, well, Iwabi's here, you know, so maybe they got something to stop the girls. You know, the girls can't really do anything like that, because, you know, Iwabi's strong as hell and a lot of people are afraid of him, but they knocked him out like immediately early on. Now throughout the show, we start seeing them progress a little bit faster and starting to get through like the school rapidly. You know what I mean? They were getting to point to point to point. They was almost to the top, you know, even getting through like different setups with the security system, and we start to see Dinky actually pull out the laptop and using hacker like tools and shit like that. So one thing I thought was really cool was to see him use that hacker tool and use him using like technology. It could show maybe he would become like some type of technology ninja, something using like, I understand there's a scientific ninja tool, but what if he uses like some type of android or like some type of robot to use in the fight? What if he develops some jutsu that allow him to use like his surroundings or create some type of technical beings and come out and fight and shit like that? That'll be really dope. Or maybe even get like some type of ninja jackpad or some shit like that. That would be really cool to see Dinky do, because we honestly, from looking at Dinky's perspective, he's really weak. He's really like, you know, he's not a strong ninja in terms of like him as a person. But he's really like strong-willed. He has a great mind and he's really smart. So to basically see him use some shit like that or establish some tech that allows him to become a ninja and basically helps him progress as a ninja, that would be so dope to see. Now, we saw like some strategicness from Shikadai. You know, they was basically using the security system that Denki hacked into to basically stop the girls from progressing. And you know, we saw, you know, the scroll beast coming from my boy Inojin, which was cool to see as well. And the one thing I like about his scroll beast from his dads are like just solid black and white. You know what I mean? Every scroll beast he's ever created, or everyone we've seen, it has some type of color to it. And now one thing I want to say about that is him having like some type of color to it. It reminds me of Ino, because if you guys know, Ino was a florist. You know, she worked at her family flower shop. You know, flower bomb is her technique, and to see him adding like this different flair to like the art, and you know, basically giving it a coloring, and it shows like he's so much alive in terms of emotions in terms of like being with people, and he's more vibrant than his father was, because you know, when his father first was introduced, he had a hard time understanding emotion. You know, he had to read books to go into backstory about emotion and shit like that, and it wasn't some of those simple things where, you know, you just kind of got like, oh yeah, hey, how you doing, let's be friends from side. It was one of those you know, fake smile, you know, I'm not really like here for you, you know, I'm just doing my mission type of shit. Now eventually we saw Sai develop over time, but right away from Inojin, you see like, you know, he has emotions, even though he has his little moments where he, you know, he's kind of fake, but he also, you know, gets upset about little different things. And him and Chocho seem to bicker like a lot. It kind of reminds me of Choji and Ino. That was really like fucking hilarious. And the thing is, you know, you would think these like Shikadai, Inojin and Chocho would get like along super well, because their mother, her like not their mother, but Chojo's father, his mother, and Shikadai's father, they all were like friends. They were all a part of the same team. So, you know, you would think that they would get along and they would be like really good friends. They would be close with each other, but that wasn't a factor. You know, they always bicker. And basically, we seen Boruto kind of mess up that plan basically when they threw out the scroll and the scroll beast, and then blocked it off because he basically let the water come out. And that's what I was talking about earlier when I was saying Inojin is still learning and he's not exactly like his father, because he was talking about how he can't make his scroll beast sustain in rain. You know, once the rain hits it, it starts to wash away. He's not like his father level of technique yet. It's a little bit different. Maybe it has something to do with the coloring. Who knows? But eventually we see Boruto, you know, he leaves us as Shikadai and Inojin basically start off to be distractions to stop the girls, basically throwing them off of Boruto's tail. So Boruto went crazy with the clones. He took the clones. It reminded me of Naruto at the final battle when he was throwing himself up with the clones and he was fighting against Sasuke. So he was throwing himself up through the side of the building, you know, and he basically got to the top, you know, and then he got ambushed by the girls. The girls came through with some explosion tags. They really didn't care. It was one of those things where it was like ridiculous. Now this man, his plot was to use the summoning scroll to summon a snake to scare the girls, even if it's a small frog. He said, hey, at least he's gonna scare the girls. Now this is where this episode really got super interesting. We know every time that we see Denki, every time we saw Metal Lee, every time we saw them get possessed, or you know, we seen that weird chakra, we would see like this weird diamond seal. So I'll put it on the screen. You know, it's one of those things where we see this weird diamond seal, and you know, that's something we saw as Boruto start to use his summoning jutsu. And it was really weird because, you know, he wanted to summon the snake, and honestly, when he did, he summoned a being, like a beast. It didn't show who he was, and it showed what it was, but it was shrouded in like some type of darkness. Now his tail did like remind me of a snake, and like I said early on in one of my reviews, it kind of reminded me of a chimera, but you know, it also gave me like this monkey vibe. I can't really tell what it is, you know, because it's really like hard to depict it, but you see a lot of eyes. You see like this little markings around his face, almost as if it's like a gorilla face, you know, on some Kojak type stuff. But it's one of those things where it's so unique and it's so different, and it's really like creeping me out because I really want to know what it is, and we have no idea what this summoning beast is. You know, even Konohamaru sensei was like, I didn't know Boruto had that much chakra to summon something like that. You know, what exactly is it? You know, I need to dig more into this at the end of the episode. And he was just talking about how, you know, Boruto summoned something that was completely weird. So basically I'm gonna make a video later on today talking about this mysterious beast and where did it come from, how did Boruto get it, what is its purpose, because every time we see somebody get possessed by the weird chakra, we always see like this beast shrouded up. So maybe that has something to do with it. And then also the fact that Boruto was able to summon it, you know, that shows me some weird shit and some type of connection between the two. Maybe the people that Boruto talk to, and maybe the people that Boruto meet and that get affected by the words he says, maybe they get infected by this weird chakra, because we saw that with Denki when Denki was talking to Boruto and he was basically telling him to stand up to his father. You know, eventually after that, you know, you seen Boruto go about his business, but Denki went to talk to his dad and basically stand up to him, and basically he wanted to prove himself to his dad, and then the chakra took over him. As well as with Metal Lee, he basically, when Shikadai was like, you know, you do really well until you get nervous, then you just completely useless, you always mess up. And then Boruto made his little comment, then Metal Lee came back with the weird chakra on him as well, and we saw the weird figure again. So who knows what's gonna happen in the future of Boruto, but one thing that's for certain, we gonna see a next episode with Mitsuki, because Mitsuki was on top of the building while everybody was going through their little fights and endeavors and stuff like that. And it was pretty dope to see Mitsuki, you know, just kind of sitting there. He didn't say anything, he just was still there, nobody saw him, he was just kind of lurking. So I can't wait to see Mitsuki introduced into the show, because Mitsuki is one of the things that I'm looking forward to in Boruto, because we know a lot about him already in terms of his guidance and stuff like that. I won't go into detail for people who don't really know too much about the Boruto chapters, but you definitely need to check those out, so next time when I make a video talking about Mitsuki, you guys will understand. Now with that being said, my name is ShinoBeenTrill. Stay true and stay real. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and until next time, see you guys later. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you take that W, not that L. Subscribe for daily content, and see you guys later. Bye.